ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe.
Gorgeous Wendigo toes. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Transformers action figure review on the Transformers masterpiece MP-44 Cybertron Commander Convoy version 3, aka Masterpiece Optimus Prime. I did order this from a Japanese online retailer, but if you're trying to get yours from the States, you can do so.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And this was honestly not that much cheaper buying it overseas, but hey, anyway, I'm very excited about this. Looking very cool right over here with these product images, and Optimus is spot varnished in both modes right over here on the packaging. Looking really cool. Transformers 35th anniversary. What a great way to celebrate with a new Masterpiece Optimus Prime figure. Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway, on the side right here, you can see a nice image of Optimus in his alt mode, and then on the back, you can see all kinds of awesome product shots and all these accessories right over here, even some size comparisons. You can see the actual size of Optimus in his robot mode on the side of the packaging right here, and then on this side, you can see him in his robot mode, and then on this side, you can see it says Transformers Masterpiece in that silver foil, looking really cool, and then on the very bottom, you can see all the accessories that are included with this figure. Alright, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's our MP-44 Optimus Prime out of the packaging, and I'm just showing the cab right over here. There is a ton of things going on with this figure, a lot of accessories, a lot of different posing options and playable options with this figure. I hope at some point Takara does something like they had done with MP-04 Prime and the MP-01, where you get an option to just buy the figure as you see it right over here, maybe with some of the accessories, not all of them, you know what I mean? Because yeah, that high price point, it's not just about the particular Optimus, it's also about the trailer, because there is so much stuff going on. I did watch other reviewers, and I still have some unique QC issues going on that I will discuss in a moment, but I'm going to try to be as quick and thorough as possible with all these accessories. So let's get a closer look at all of that, and then we'll take a closer look at Prime. So as always, we get our instruction booklet and our collector card right here for our masterpiece figures, and this artwork looks amazing. I really like it quite a bit, man. Then you get some stats right over here on the back, and then right here we have our instruction booklet, which is pretty lengthy, and yeah, I've tabbed it out to help with this review. So our first real accessories we're looking at are the three mini human figures that we're seeing right here. We get Sparkplug, Spike, and Carly, and these all look great for them being such tiny little pieces. So there's Sparkplug right there, looking really good. I like the straps and everything, and he has little magnetic parts right there on the bottom of the feet and on the back. Same thing with Spike, and then same thing with Carly. Now with these two, the joints pop off super easy, and we have added articulation on these. I'm going to go ahead and use Sparkplug as an example, but yeah, you can see that the head turns side to side. You also get a diaphragm joint right over there, and it has some diaphragm pivot, and it goes back and forth. You get shoulder joints. It rotates all the way around at the shoulder, then the hips move out and forward and back, and he bends at the knee, and no real knee rotation or anything like that on all of these. Like I said, they're super tiny and only stand out about 1.5 inches tall. And for a little comparison, you could see the Spike that came with the MP-10 Optimus Prime. So he's just a little bit larger. You can see Chip right over here, and oop, there goes Carly. But yeah, it's kind of neat to have these added characters. I just really wish we had a Raoul. Am I really the only one that wants a Raoul figure? And then, oh yeah, here's a Dr. Arkeville, so you can see how the scale's been changing over the years. And we'll see these three figures again throughout the review, but I wanted to show off Roller over here. Not looking too bad. I like this Roller. He's all gray. Nice silver paint right over here. He has the plastic tires, a little translucent red right there on the back. You get these little pieces right here. If you wanted to add effects parts, you can do that, so that's pretty cool. You can pop this forward. You can see the engine inside right there. If you want to put some of the figures, getting a mini figure inside right there, it's not too difficult to do. So we have a whole bunch of options with this guy. You can go ahead and flip this up right over here, and then you can see you get these different ports. You can flip this piece back on Prime's blaster rifle, and they'll port right into there, so that's pretty cool. We have this energy supply pipe, and you can go ahead and port this in right there as well. This thing comes apart right here in the middle too. We'll see this again in the review, so that's kind of neat to have. Now these two ports right over here here are specifically for the energy supplier pipe. You're supposed to detach it and then plug each of these into each side right here. I mean, I don't know. That's not very useful, I guess. So it's worth noting that when you want the character sitting in the back, they're going to be facing backwards. So, you know, you can see that. If you want Roller taking the trailer away, you can do that. But it's going to go ahead and smash Sparkplug's head a little bit right there. I don't think he's going to make it, man. And it's making Roller kind of pop up a little bit. So that doesn't really work out too well, but it does port into there. And if you grab your anti-aircraft gun and you flip this up from the bottom, this will slide into the very bottom of Roller right over here, and then you could have Roller take this away if you want. And it actually kind of looks cool too. I like this. Pretty neat. You can go ahead and have this guy attached to Roller, so you want to just flip this piece down, and then this will come off like so. Just yank that off, and then you could go ahead and flip this piece down. Now this actually was like the first real QC issue headache I had. This was actually backwards on mine, so I had to split this apart right over here, and then take this out, and then flip it around so it could properly be attached to Roller. So you can see if I grab Roller, it'll just go into place just like that. So you can have this configuration if you'd like. But looking at this anti-aircraft gun, I actually think this is quite awesome. They've really leveled this thing up. You could slide these guys out right here, so that's really cool. You can add effects parts to them if you want. And also flip this up right here so you have that old school radar thing. This I'll demonstrate in a second, but I want to show that you can go ahead and pop this up, and this will flip up right over here, so you get a joint right there, which is really nifty. And then you also get another joint right up here at the top. If you want to lock it into place, you have this little tab, and you can flip this up. I find this very tricky to deal with. It doesn't like set in as I'd like it to, but you can see it kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't work out as well as I'd like. Maybe I'm not putting enough pressure on there. But you can turn this up and down. You can turn it side to side. That's really awesome. Forgot to mention that you have this option right over here that reminds me of the G1 toy, so you could spin the whole radar thingy around right there. This arm could come back, and if you want to store it behind the back of the anti-aircraft gun like this, you can do that if you'd like, or you can have it sitting up top right here, and you get a hinge that comes out. It rotates right here, and this moves up and down, and you get the clamp. And you can also lift up the cockpit, and you could put a figure inside, so have Carly sit right in here, and she'll man this thing, or woman this thing, and that looks really cool, even though she's kind of sinking in there. But still, this is very awesome. You get the wheels right here at the bottom, as you saw it rolling around just a minute ago. But to go ahead and put this inside the trailer, you're going to go ahead and flip these in like that. It's going to snap into place, and then these guys will pop out right here, and you're going to go ahead and flip these two out, and that will allow us to place this inside the trailer. As you can see, we have these two grooves, so just line that up and then shift forward, and there we go. So that is pretty awesome, and I really like the trailer for this guy quite a bit. You can go ahead and have the characters sit down right over here, so that's cool, or you could have them sit right over there. That's pretty neat. You have these two strips each on one side of the trailer, and you can have them stand here with their magnetic feet, and that helps. I had them doing a circle pit right over here. You know, it's 1984, why not? So that's really nifty. I'm going to take them out right here and move this down because there's more stuff I want to show off. Yeah, there it goes. Very thick, ratchety joints. And then I'm going to go ahead and place this down here. If you want to have this storing some of your weapons, you know, if you could go ahead and have that flipped up right there, you can do that. Form this together like so, and then port this in like that, and you could have it storing those weapons right there. I love the detail on the inside of this, by the way. I think that looks really, really cool. Have that sitting on the side right there. Okay, so I'm just going to have that ported that way and have this kind of, you know, swimming around inside there. But you can close that up, and then you can close the doors right over here. And as you can see, I had these pieces sticking outward. They will just drop down as they spin outward, which is really neat. I have a tendency to want to pull down right over here, but you don't have to do that. It'll just drop down on its own, so that's really nifty. You could pull these guys out right over here, and you have these two legs for the trailer to stand on its own, so that's really cool if you want it just set up like that. And this is a pretty cool looking trailer, man. I mean, it's a lot more basic looking compared to the MP10 because the cartoon version just didn't have as much stuff going on, but I like it. You know, the colors look really good. Everything looks solid. We got the rubber tires, nice shiny chrome right over there, or vac metal. And looking on the back, you get the tail lights made with the translucent plastic. Love the gunmetal gray that we're seeing throughout on this, so that's pretty neat. But you can see that we have weapons storage right here in the very back. These keep wanting to fall down. Now, I like this feature a lot, man. That is cool. And we're going to look at these Optimus Prime accessories for his robot mode a lot more later on. But this is really cool how you could set this up right here. My only gripe with it is that I feel like the axe always gets bumped whenever I put this in. So you have these two little slots right over here, so you're just gonna make sure that you line everything up and it'll go right in there. But see, there goes the axe, and I haven't gotten the axe scuffed or anything like that, so that's a cool thing. You can go ahead and open these up again and then get this sliding out, and now you have a ramp. Again, these legs, I wish there was a locking thing for those legs, but I like how this is a lot more gradual looking ramp. Go ahead and put roller in there and have him slide right out. By the way, I forgot to do a roller comparison. Here's the MP10 roller, and then here's our new MP-44 roller. So they both look pretty good. So if you want to use the blue one, that'll work. Now, one thing about this ramp I've always wanted to see is if you take this regular Masterpiece car and see how that comes out of here, and alright, that's a lot smoother than before. I mean, you're still going to have this weird drop-off thing going on, but I don't know, I just think that's overall a whole lot better, and it rolls out of Prime a lot easier. So yeah, you can port roller into the anti-aircraft gun, so that's really neat too. So if you just want them stored inside there, you can do that. But before I close this up, I wanted to show that you can have the anti-aircraft gun stick out of the figure. So you have these panels on the sides, and that's going to snap in, and that's going to snap in. And what you can do here is just like the G1 toy, you want to get this whole arm out of the way, configure this so that it's sticking out of the trailer, and there you go. So that's really cool that you can do that. Now if you wanted it coming out of the top, you have to take off the aircraft gun or the anti-aircraft gun, turn this around and then move it forward like that, and then put it back here. So I'm going to have to go like that, and then now you could stick this piece out and have that closed up, and if you have it tabbed in there properly, it'll stay. I don't really see the point of doing that, you know. You could have roller carrying this all around, put that into roller again, and you know, have that option going. But yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of goofy looking, but kind of fun at the same time. Oh, and if you wanted a jet-powered trailer, you can go ahead and add the jetpack for Optimus Prime's robot mode onto the trailer. You just got to flip this down right here. You get a tab right there. Then there's a little port right over here on the top of the trailer, and it just pegs right in. So yeah, you could do that if you want. Oh, and I wanted to do a trailer comparison. So here's our MP-44 next to the MP-10 trailer, and you can see that there's just a lot more color going on with the MP-10 trailer, but it's less G1 cartoon accurate. At first I was like, oh, I definitely like that more, but everything about this figure over here I'm kind of liking more and more and more. And then to bring in Optimus Prime, of course, you can attach the trailer right here. You get that rectangle shape, and it's going to go right into that rectangle shape right in there, and it works out very well, and that is cool. Yeah. So this is pretty awesome. And you can go ahead and turn Prime this much side to side. Not more than that, but you know, it's okay. I'm not too bothered by that. And just getting a closer look at it, I was at first really unhappy with the fact that he didn't have the silver stripe coming along the sides. I know it's more cartoon accurate, but I just always assumed that they didn't put that stripe there out of laziness from the animators. So to me, it's like honoring that's kind of honoring laziness, but I actually really like how this looks now. Everything about this figure, I'm just liking more and more. I love that we get some little detail right here on the front, right here with the orange. That looks great. I love the vac metal and chrome. I love the blue tinted windows. Little touches of orange right over here for the very top. We get some nice chrome right over here for the rear view mirrors. There's parts of it where I feel like it could, you know, come in a little bit tighter, but still it looks really good. I do like this boxy shape, and we get some nice rivets sculpted in here and everything, and these little pipes and stuff. Autobot symbol looks really good. I like that. And then getting this all tabbed together. You got to be really careful about your tabs transforming this, which we'll get into more in just a little bit. A little gappy here in the very back, but it doesn't bother me much at all. You know, it kind of actually looks a little bit more realistic that way. Then you can see the tail lights right here in the very back. You don't have any obvious Optimus Prime feet. I love the tires, nice rubber tires. Love the chrome vac metal. You know, this kind of gets a little wobbly right over here, and there it goes. You know, so I'm constantly having to maintain this little part right here, but you know, it doesn't look too bad to me or anything. And then here's looking at this piece, and then this is my biggest QC issue. You can see how there's all this red marked up on that little tab. I'll get more into that, into the transformation later on. Here's looking at the very bottom. These pieces kind of move around a little bit, but not too bad. And I do have all 6 wheels rolling right over here, so that's very, very cool. Just have to make sure that you have all the proper tabs where they're supposed to go, or else you're going to have things dragging on the ground. Now for blaster rifle storage, and just really quick, you can compare the MP-10 rifle compared to this MP-44 MP-44. This one looks a lot cooler. Always like the jet black over here, but I like this gunmetal gray too. But anyway, you want to flip this up right here, and then this will double hinge and swing all the way around, and you get this little sliding port right here, and you get this tab that you want to have sticking upward and kind of leaning back just a little bit, but you can see that you get the little sliding thingy right there. And it's just going to go across, and there you go. So you can have him with the blaster rifle, and if you want to keep that on there while attaching the trailer again, that works out still. And then another feature about this figure that I love is that you get doors that open in this mode, and that is so freaking cool. I love that so much. So you can grab your Spike figure with his legs popping off super easy. There goes his head. Okay, so I got him somewhat in position, and you just put Spike in there, and that looks a little bit weird the way I got him in there, but yeah, you can fit your figures in there and the door closes up nice. Same thing with this side over here too. You can do the same thing. That is super cool, and then just close that up, and that is freaking sweet. You can't really see them through this translucent blue plastic at all. I have lights shining on it. I turn up the settings. Yeah, you can't see that at all. So I do like that you can't really see them from the front, but yeah, you can see them a little bit rolling around in there from the side. And a super tiny minor gripe I have is I feel like these smokestacks kind of lean forward a little bit more, so I keep wanting to like tilt them back like that so they're not totally flush. You can kind of make that work, but yeah, not a big deal. Now to measure out Optimus Prime just like this, you can see he's measuring 8 inches across, and then we're looking at about 3.5 inches tall. And then adding the trailer, you can see that he's actually about 16.5 inches across, and then the trailer itself stands just a little over 5 inches. And then for some quick comparisons, we have our MP-44 next to the MP-10, and at first I really didn't like this design over this one, but now I'm liking this one more, and you can see from the side they're more or less about the same size. So yeah, not too much of a size difference over here. This keeps flopping in. I don't have that problem with this, by the way. I don't know why, but yeah, they both look really good over here, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards the MP-44 now. And then here's our MP-44 next to the Masterpiece Sideswipe, and these scale great together. Seeing these two side by side right here looks really good. So yeah, very pleased with that. And then here's MP-44 next to the G1, or my G2 Optimus Prime figure. And yeah, see, that's kind of one reason why I liked having the silver stripe right here, because it kind of reminded me of the G1 toy. But I don't know, I'm just getting more and more lost into this figure and digging it. So yeah, I'm not really missing that stripe anymore. Now getting on to the transformation, I'm going to tell you guys, it's difficult. It's actually very difficult, but everything makes sense. So that's what I love about this figure. I don't have weird things untabbing automatically or things that don't line up. Everything is all flush and groovy. So anyway, let's get to this transformation. Woo, takes away Bumblebee. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is go ahead and put the rear view mirrors inside right there, and then you get these little grooves up top right here, and you're going to take your nail and pick and pry that open, and do the same thing on this side. You also want to pry this from over here, and there that goes, and do the same thing on this. Make sure that this is untabbed here, and then it's going to swing out halfway, and get this swung out halfway. You're going to swing these down and go ahead and flip this up right here, fold this down and rotate this around, and then it's going to flip back and collapse that, and you're going to do the same thing to this side right over here. It's going to swing down that way, and you're going to take this piece right over here, that's going to flip up, and then go ahead and fold all of that in, and then swing this back up over here, and then this is actually going to swing back, and you're going to collapse that together. This swings back, collapse that together, and then this will go all the way back over here, and that's going to go all the way back right there. So far, I'm just impressed that they have this whole thing going on with the cab portions coming back to the legs, because usually they keep that very separate. So pretty stoked about that. Anyway, you're going to go ahead and split this part right here at the legs. Again, watching your tabs, you always want to make sure that these go into these ports right here when you're transforming into the vehicle mode. I'm going to take this and swing this up over here and swing this up right here, and then I'm going to grab this guy and swing this outward, and then this is one of the more complex portions of the figure by far, man. You want to rotate this piece down here and get this piece flipped up, and then I'm going to do the same thing to this guy over here, and then I'm going to flip this piece up right over here, and then get this whole section right here swinging up and over. So it's actually better to do that if you rotate this back like that, and then you could swing this outwards. So then you want to have this whole thing rotated around like so, because this is all going to collapse into the leg, and then you have this double hinge going on the inside, and you're going to swing all of this down right here, and then this piece is going to come up, and we're going to leave this up and out of the way. This is going to fold in. You can see this red portion is going to go ahead and tab in right there. It's going to be nice and flush. And then you can see how this is out of place right over here. This is all going to kind of flip up over here and shift that up right there. And then this is going to move down. You're going to take this little flap, move that up like so. And then we have space for all of this to collapse inside the leg, and I just think that's awesome how this works out. Just want to be very careful and smooth about the way I'm doing it. And then you get a little tab that's going to go in right over there. This piece is going to flip up. This tabs right into this. I don't know if you can see all the little things I'm pointing at. That goes in there. And we got a Cyclops accessory, and make sure that those hinges don't run into each other. And gonna fold this part in to kind of seal the deal with the leg, and then this is going to come in and fold and tab right into place right there. And then you can see that we get a little heel piece that's going to come out, swing that in, and then you have one leg done, kind of. You gotta tab that together, and there that goes. So we have that leg, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now we have the feet right there. Coming up to the top, we're going to go ahead and start right over here with getting all of the front, or you could go ahead and move those in, but this whole piece is going to detach, and it's going to go ahead and swing upward. I'll swing these in, and then these two pieces on the side are going to come down like that on each side right over there. Then these doors, or I'm going to lift these little panels right up over here with the lights on. So those are going to get lifted up right there. And then we could take the arms, and I like to move these out and just get them out of the way, and we'll deal with that last. When you're putting this into alt mode, make sure that the back of the hand is sticking like that, or sticking outward like that, because yeah, that just really helps making sure everything is flush. For me anyway, just these little mental notes that I take while I'm transforming the figure. Anyway, we're going to get these swung outward over here, and then we're going to take these panels, and these are going to shift up a little bit. These guys right down here, you're going to untab, so you get some little tabs right over here. Actually, we're going to detach this whole waist portion, get everything flung out, and it's all connected right there. So this little piece is going to unhinge right there. Then that's going to give us some more room. I'm also going to move this back to give us some more room to work with right over here also. So this is going to untab right here and right here. It's kind of tricky to see. There's a little gray plastic piece right there that has the matrix of leadership, and that's where these are going to untab from. And then this can swing all the way out. So we have that. Then we're actually going to take the tires and shift those down and shift that down. And those are going to rotate in and rotate this one in. And then these little pieces up here, these will kind of shift up and out and up, and then shift back into place right there. And then we have these doors that we're going to move out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate in like that. And then get these arms out of the way just a little bit, and then get this up into place right here. Oh, we could actually move Prime's head out of the way. So get Prime's head out of the way right there, and move that into place, and get the arm out of the way over here as well, and then get that into place like that. And moving this all up so that Prime's head sticks out. When you're putting this back into alt mode, make sure that you have that flap up against his chin. That was a thing that I would often forget to do. But yeah, we're going to move this little flap downward, and then we're going to try to get everything swinging back as much as possible to get Prime into place. And we have these little two panel pieces. These are going to shift up over here. And then these doors are going to swing around so that we have these lights facing upward. And we're not going to close that quite yet because we want to get the matrix in there. Make sure that this all properly swings right in. And then we can shut these doors like that. Make sure that that stays in place. And then this whole piece right here is going to keep these like how you saw them earlier. Going to move this piece down, and you get a tab that goes into the back right over here, and that's going to go in place. And then this is going to flip up right there, and that'll go into this tab right over here. And that's actually not going in place for me right now, so I'm going to hold off on that and get back to the arms, because I want to make sure that these arms can go in place. So they just sink right in right here, and I'm going to push that in, and then this will sink right in right here. You have enough space, but you can see how it's going to hinge back. So maybe move this out of the way so that you can get that in there properly. Transform at your own risk when watching a ShartimusPrime video. Anyway, the arms are going to slide out, and then you're going to tab this in. This piece is going to collapse outward. Get that in place, swing that in, and this is all going to come up and tab in, and then rotate 180 right there for the hand. And the same thing on this side. This slides up, turn that, close that, flip this up, move this into place, make sure that it's not running into itself when you collapse inward, and then fold this piece out, flip, get the hand out of the way, and then flip this up right here. That's looking pretty good. Oop, and then the back's all wiggly. Yeah, and that's why I had a problem. The hips need to, or the legs need to fold down like that. And then these butt plates can move down, hip plates can move down. Then we have plenty of room right here to work with, so we can get this piece into place right here, and it's going to tab into the back. And then this is my biggest problem. You can see that there's this little hole right here on the inside for this thing to clip into. There was too much plastic in there, and this part doesn't change at all during the transformation at all whatsoever. But there's just too much plastic in there, so I had to get in there with an X-Acto knife and shave some of that off so that this little white tab could clip into it. So you could clip in right here. Yeah, and it's still tricky to do because there's just too much plastic in it, and I have this piece running into it. See that right there? That's a big oopsie. Fold that in and tab that into the colito, and tab this in right there, and then don't forget to move the smokestacks back just a little bit. They just shift back right there, and now we have MP-44 Optimus Prime transformed in his robot mode, and he looks amazing, and there's so much awesome stuff going on right over here. You can see he is standing on one foot without any support at all. This figure is incredibly well balanced, as all things should be, and I really do like it quite a bit, and we have an incredible number of accessories just for the Optimus Prime to show off in his robot mode. So let's get a closer look at all of that. We get 3 different head sculpts for Prime, and then we get the Starscream head sculpt right over there, and all these other pieces. Oh my god, there's so much stuff. Okay, so first off, looking at the blaster rifle, I do like the gunmetal gray. It does look very good, and we do get storage for his robot mode, so you can go ahead and throw this back right here, and then just like how we saw with the alt mode, you get this little slider piece, and you can flip this all up once again, and then just go ahead and slide this into the groove and port this into the back of Prime, or you can go ahead and flip this down, and you want to leave this flipped up right over here, and you get this little notch thingy clip that's going to clip onto this little piece right over here, and it just goes right in there just like that. So that's pretty cool. This also goes into his hand pretty well, so you just want to flip that down and get the fingers all splayed out. And you can see that we get a little groove, kind of like how we're used to seeing with our Masterpiece figures, and you get the tab that goes in there. You want to make sure that the fingers actually aren't splayed out all the way. You want them curved just a little bit, and then you can wrap the fingers around there, and that works out pretty well. Then we also get this Energon axe, which I like quite a bit. Looks really good. It has some articulation in it right here, so it slides up and down. You just want to make sure that you remove the hand. Squeaka, squeaka, squeaka. There it goes, and then you get this clip right over here that sticks out, and it's going to go right into the axe, and you want it facing downward actually when you port this in, and there that goes. There it goes, and now you want to turn it like that, and now you have the Energon axe in place, and that looks pretty awesome. I wish that there was a little bit less of a gap over here, though. That's one thing that kind of irritates me about it a little bit. You know, I feel like I see some gappage, but I don't know, didn't stop me from having fun taking pictures of it. And then we also get the Prime jetpack right here, and it looks pretty good. I like it. And then you could go ahead and add these effects parts right there if you want to, so that's pretty awesome. And you want to make sure it's configured like this, and it's just going to go ahead and tab into this little space right up here, and you have these little clips on the side that it's going to go into. You can see the ports right there on each side, and it just easily tabs right in. So now you got a headless flying Optimus Prime. And we could also get the Starscream in disguise thing going right here, so I like to just go ahead and untab right over here, and then you get this whole little Starscream piece, which doesn't look too bad. I like that. and you're going to go ahead and slide this into the groove like so, and reattach right over here, and then grab Starscream's head, and it just slides right on, and then now we have Starscream impersonating Optimus Prime, which, by the way, is a really good looking Starscream head sculpt. I like this a lot. I'm going to try swapping this onto the MP-11 Starscream later on in the review. Getting this removed and getting this removed, and then putting this on right over here, which is actually the most difficult head sculpt that I have, trying to get onto this piece right here. It's actually giving me the most trouble, but you can see it goes right back on there. We have the dying or the battle damaged Optimus Prime, and that looks awesome. I really like this a lot. It looks great. Great sculpt in there. And I like how these pieces are all like bent and everything. That is so cool. The mask portion of this head sculpt does come off on me a little bit. That's a little bit irritating. But yeah, you can see how the back of that looks. That's really great. We also get this added piece right over here, so you could add this to his rib cage. It just clips onto the side, and you can see that that's where, you know, I think that's the killing shot from Megatron, if I remember right, from the '86 movie. But I like how you can see some gunmetal gray in there. Looks really cool. It's very easy to just take off as well. And removing this and adding the rounded head sculpt. This is actually my least favorite of the 3 head sculpts. I don't like how it sits on the neck right here. I just feel like it sits a little high, and it's a little small. This is supposed to be a little extra cartoon accurate, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't look bad. It's just not my favorite of the 3 head sculpts, you know. It definitely looks like Optimus Prime, and it has that G1 cartoon look to it. My preference is this head sculpt right over here. I like this one the most. I don't know. When I think of Optimus Prime, I think of this right here, and I just really dig it a lot, man. So great head sculpts all the way. A little bent right here on the inside of the ears, but, you know, it's really not that big of a deal for me. I'm still really happy with it. So nice clean paint apps and everything on here. And this whole robot mode looks great, except for some of the QC issues like this little rub right over here. That's not me scuffing the figure, by the way. I did take a picture of it earlier on. I thought maybe it was orange paint that got smeared on there, because you can see a tad bit of orange paint missing from right there, but there's a little bit of orange paint right there, so that bothers me some. I did scuff the figure from transforming it numerous times, but my scuffs are earned right over here. I also saw Emgo scuff his right over here too. I saw that line right there. I also have it on this side as well, but you know, as far as having scuffs on the figure, that doesn't bother me so much, or those are my earned scuffs right there. I did not give that one. So we also get a nice looking Autobot logo on the left shoulder right here. That looks great. Love the chrome for the smokestacks. That's awesome. I just love how clean this figure looks. It just looks like it's not supposed to transform into anything, and that's just what makes me so happy about it. Every time I look at it, I get giddy. And you get some nice chrome right here. We could go ahead and open up the chest for the Matrix of Leadership, and you can see it just opens. It's a little tricky to do, but you can just open it up like that. And if you push on this little tab right here, you want to use some pressure pushing against that tab. That's going to help flip this compartment upward, and you can see there is nothing inside. Yeah, that's right, because I already took it out. So yeah, there's the Matrix of Leadership that comes with this figure. Looks really good with the chrome and the gold. And nice shiny blue paint right over there. Comparing it to the previous version, you can see that they are identical, both die-cast, both quite heavy. You can put this one in here, and that's the MP10's version. Ooh, it's a little bit of a tight fit. I don't want to like really jam it in there too hard. I don't want to deal with trying to pry it out. Let's see if I put the one that comes with the figure in here, and it does go in there a lot easier. One thing that's really awesome about this is that removing it is way easier than before. You have these 2 little pieces right here, and you're going to go ahead and pinch those, and then that makes this whole thing slide out. And then now you can go ahead and shimmy this out of here, so that's pretty cool. I love that. But I'm going to go ahead and keep that in there because it's Optimus Prime and he should have the Matrix of Leadership. So that's really cool. Ooh, got a little... Whenever I swing these open and closed, I feel like I have to tilt these up a little bit. So yeah, I don't want to ruin anything. And tilt that up and get that into position. God, that blemish bothers me. I love this translucent blue right here. And then the hips, I also have this other scuff right here that I did not earn. You can see it's not a scuff, it's actually some extra blue paint. So it looks like it's just a minor detail, but I did spend a lot of money on this figure, and that bugged me right away. I saw that. I was like, oh man, this little whole thing, I've seen that on multiple versions. Like I said, I've seen numerous reviews on this figure, but man, it's just such a clean looking piece. I got that tabbed in more properly. But man, it still looks super clean. God, so awesome looking. I will say I do get a little irritated sometimes seeing red pop through just a little bit, and sometimes when I bend these joints, I could see red sometimes, but just a super minor gripe. A lot of people have a problem with the backpack over here. I don't. I mean, I've always known Optimus to kind of be a little bit bulky right over here, so it just really doesn't bother me. I mean, having this flipped up bothers me, so I'm going to close that. But yeah, it really doesn't bother me at all. I think it looks just fine. I don't know. You could argue with me or whatever, but I like it. I think it looks great. Now, getting into the sound clips over here, he does not come with his own batteries. I personally feel like it should have come with his own batteries, but I picked up these Energizer 357s. They're the same as the LR44s. Go ahead and Google. There's like other compatible batteries. But anyway, you're going to go ahead and untab right over here in the very back, and then you're going to unscrew this right over here, and that's where you're going to insert the batteries. And you get 5 different modes or 5 different options. And to switch throughout those options, you're going to hold on to the button, which is on the side right over here. I'm not going to press it just yet because you also have an on-off switch right over here. So as you can see, it's flipped on. I already have it set up to where he's speaking on the 5th mode, which is the only English mode. And oh, that is so awesome. Peter Cullen's voice.
Transform and roll out. I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out.
So that, yeah, so that's all he.
One shall stand.
Well, there he goes.
One shall fall. Transform and roll out. I am Optimus Prime.
Oh, that is freaking cool. Just to demonstrate some of the Japanese sounds, though, what you're going to do is you hold down on this button and it'll make a transformation sound. Oh, wow. It's playing the music instead. I didn't expect that to happen. But that's how you... Okay, so that's how you know you've gone back to the beginning. So yeah, you can see... you can see... And you can see that this is the speaker where it's all coming out of right here. So yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff I can't... Well, start your engines, I heard that. But you could hold down. And then now it's switched to a different mode. Yeah, it sounds like a more angry Optimus right there. So yeah, that's pretty neat. I just don't like that you have to buy your own batteries for it. But still, pretty cool that he speaks. If they ever re-release this in the US, though, it'd be nice to just have the English-speaking ones, because that's the Prime I know. Then, of course, we have our repair bay mode for the trailer. You can see I have the weapons stored right over there. We have our energy gun or nozzle right there. And you can just go ahead and add Optimus inside right here. You could flop these pieces down if you want to add some humans into the mix, so you could flop that down and flop that down, and then you could go ahead and add a spark plug, and he has those magnetic feet that help him stand pretty well. So that's kind of neat that you could do that. I like it. And to go over Prime's articulation, and by the way, this guy stands very easily. I was able to get him standing on one foot without any effort at all. Anyway, you can move the head up pretty far, so I really like that quite a bit. You can move the head downward. It can untab back here and look down even more so that's great. Of course, you're going to get side-to-side motion and a good amount of head tilting right over here. We get butterfly joints right here at the shoulders. I mean, due to transformation, you can detach this and pull this all the way out, and it will swing back. But yeah, you get great butterfly movement right here with the arms. You can move them all the way up right here at the shoulder, so that's awesome. You can rotate a full 360. You get a bicep swivel. You get double jointed elbows that bend in that far. The wrist turns side to side, kind of wiggle up and down just a little bit over here. The thumb articulation hinges side to side, as you can see right there. And then all 4 fingers can splay outward. They all bend at the knuckle. These last 3 will bend together, and then the index finger has one more joint right there. I thought it was 2 more, but nope, it's just 1 more joint right there. Really good looking hands on this guy too. You get a little bit of side to side waist swivel. You can get him crunching back a little bit by detaching right over here. It looks ugly, but depending on the photo, it'll look pretty good. And you can see this is like my biggest QC issue, is this tab not going in there. As I said earlier, it's just extremely frustrating, so that bums me out some. But when you have that untabbed, you can get a good amount of waist swivel right here, so that's pretty cool. And he'll crunch back too and forward, so that's pretty neat. Getting that back into place. You can move the hips outward very far, and you can get him kicking forward very far. You can see that this whole thing will flip back with the legs, so I think that's pretty cool. He can kick that high upwards, which is incredible, and very far backwards. You have all these flaps right over here that you can move around. You get an upper thigh swivel right there. Double jointed knees. MGo's video said that you want to make sure that you hold right over here and move that in, and then bend the second knee. I have not broken the knees on my figure yet because I watched that review, so thanks to MGo. Yeah, I have no breaks or anything like that, so that bends very far inward. And then you can move the ankle down and it will move up. No real side-to-side motion, but we do get beautiful ankle pivot. And one thing I want to mention with the knees over here is as you articulate it, you can see that there's going to be this little gap right here. But if you have them in a vanilla pose or a Snag pose, you can go ahead and flip these up and those aren't going to be visible anymore. So I think that's pretty neat. You can flip these up and down. Now to measure out this MP-44 Optimus Prime in his robot mode, you can see that he's standing at about 9.5 inches tall, almost 10 inches. And then for your masterpiece Optimus Prime figure comparison, we have the MP-04 Optimus Prime, which is the same as the MP-01, but this one came with the trailer. And then we have our MP-10 TRU version right here. And wow, this has been my favorite figure for a long time. And it's so hard for me to say it, but I do like this one more. I mean, when I look at this figure, I don't see any truck parts at all. I don't see anything that makes me think that this would really turn into a truck. I mean, obviously there's, yeah, tiny bits right over here that are supposed to be there, but really, it doesn't look like it's supposed to transform, and it does. And then here's MP-44 Prime next to some other Autobots from the Masterpiece line. I figured I'd pick one from every size. So we have Ironhide over here, we have Bumblebee, and we have Wheeljack, and I cannot wait for the new Bumblebee figure. I've never thought anything bad about that piece. I cannot wait for it. People have complained about the feet and the back, but yeah, I'm excited for the new Bumblebee. And then we have our MP-44 Optimus Prime next to the MP-36 Megatron, and these two scale perfectly. I didn't like how MP-10 came out next to this Megatron over here, but yeah, seeing these two side by side makes me very, very happy. I had a lot of fun taking pics of these two fighting each other. And then here's our MP-44 next to our MP-11 Starscream. These are my two favorite Transformers characters over here. I don't know, man, I'm kind of thinking I would like to see an updated Seeker mold. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, but I want to see if I could swap the head that came with Optimus onto this MP-11 right over here. Now, of course, there's no peg inside this head for it to clip onto, but just resting it right over there, if you just wanted to have it displayed like that, it looks a little big, but Starscream's big-headed, so yeah, that could work. I don't know, that doesn't look too bad. And then here's our MP-44 Prime next to the movie masterpiece, Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime. And I thought this would be actually a lot taller than MP-44, but no, he's just a little bit taller. And because I gotta do it, we have our MP-44 next to the G1 Optimus Prime, technically my G2 Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime party!
This review sucks, Bob. Shartimus Prime's reviews suck. Shartimus Prime sucks. Shartimus sucks. Shartimus Prime is a work of shart.
And then here's Optimus Prime next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Aw, man, even you get an upgrade? When's my upgrade? Oh, I'm jealous of all you buttholes getting upgrades. My toesies. Oh. And then here we have Optimus Prime up on the anti-aircraft gun as a stand, and that works okay. That port right there that's going into his back, that fits in there just fine. It's just the hinge right underneath there that can get wobbly, so if you can get that locking mechanism to work, it'll work out. I do have his left leg kind of leaning against the stand. That helps too, so yeah, you can make this display setup happen if you'd like. I don't think this figure is for everybody. It's very expensive. It takes a lot of time to transform, but if you're a big Transformers fan, I think you're going to like it a lot. Everything about it just makes a lot of sense. I think it's just a very smart piece, so I really do dig it a lot. That trailer, man, that is really why this thing costs so much, I think. And the fact that when you see him in robot mode, it looks like he's not supposed to transform. I mean, all those little pieces, man, that can't be cheap, you know what I mean? So even though I have a whole bunch of QC issues with this thing, and even though it's extremely expensive, cost me $420 buying from a Japanese seller, man, at that price point, even at the price point closer to $500, I'm gonna give this a SUD rating of... And I don't care what you have to say, it makes me very, very happy. I love this thing. This is actually the most difficult review that I've ever made, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you have not already. And a big thanks to all these awesome people over here that go the extra mile to support what I do here on YouTube. It really means a lot, you guys. I really appreciate it. You make it possible that I'm able to pick up crazy expensive pieces like this and review them for you guys. If you want to see the latest in Transformers news, you can find it all over at tformers.com. And don't forget to follow me over on the social media over on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face, I said my shot in your face, I said my shot,